Now, who doesn't like mac and cheese? Dr. Leona Allen here, and I'm going to share a recipe with you from my latest book, Shop and Savor, authored by myself and Chef Terrell. And I'm just giggling a little bit because, one of the barriers or the struggles a lot of us have is, what do I eat? You're trying to make healthier choices. And me personally, when I was on my healing journey, I had to avoid a lot of processed grains. So, in other words, I don't eat processed pasta. I don't eat a lot of I won't say I don't eat it. Every now and then I'll sneak it in. I ain't gonna lie. But for the most part, I do not eat a lot of commercial pasta. I don't eat a lot of processed cheese. I really try to avoid it at all costs. But mac and cheese is one of my favorite foods. And this recipe is a nice little substitute. Now, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't taste just like mac and cheese, because sometimes when people get into this world and they're trying to transition, they do a lot of food substitutes where they want it to taste like a certain thing. But you got to keep in mind, a lot of these food substitutes have a lot of chemicals and products to make something taste like something that it's not. So just have an open mind when you try these types of things, because it tastes like cauliflower with cheese, really. But as far as when I have that desire for something that's mac and cheesy, this has been a really good substitute, not just for myself, but for a lot of my clients that are on this journey to healing. So I wanted to share this recipe with you, and it's very easy to make. But if you like this recipe and more, be sure to check out the book Shop and Savor. It's available at shopandsavorbook.com and also on Amazon. So if you want to support the project, support the channel, invest in this book, it's been an amazing project over maybe 5 years. It started off as a shopping guide. Then when I met Chef Terrell, we put our heads together and created this book. So with my knowledge in health and wellness and her knowledge in the kitchen, it's an amazing book. So like I said before, it's not just a bunch of recipes. It's also a shopping guide with some guidance on how to read labels, what to look out for. And there's a shopping guide as well so that you can use it when you go to the grocery store. So not only are you shopping better, you're able to prepare the meals with those things you bought. So it was a great project, and I'm glad it's finally done. It took a while, but I'm really happy with it. I've gotten some great feedback, and I would like to hear what you think as well. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in and share this recipe. And like I said, if you want, there's dozens of recipes in this book. If you want to learn more, check it out. But in this video, I wanted to do this particular recipe because not only is it one of my favorites, my sons love it, but also clients love it as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk you through. I got the slides here as I was preparing it, just snapped a few pictures here. And, go ahead and start off by preheating your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Go ahead and get that ready and get you a head of fresh cauliflower. I prefer to get everything organic whenever possible, but if you're unable to do it, do the best you can and just get what you can, because we can't have this all or none mentality when we're in this journey. So some people are like, well, I can never find anything. Well, it's better than nothing. I mean, we can't be perfect. This world has a lot stacked against us. That's why I had this book, so you can use ingredients that are found in your local grocery store. There are specialty stores out there, but really the intention of this book was to use ingredients that are found in any major grocery store, okay? So don't make it complicated. Really just learn to start. The purpose of these recipes is just to really get your imagination going, because what happens, what I hear a lot from my clients is they just say, I feel limited. And I have to let you know that there's so many variations, so many possibilities when it comes to eating well. You feel limited because You're like, well, I like mac and cheese. Now I can't eat mac and cheese, so no more mac and cheese. But we have to open up our minds to the possibility. So I wanted to share that because that was my intention behind the book, so we don't feel like we're deprived, because eating healthy is a beautiful thing. It is possible. There's a lot of things you can have. It's unlimited, and my challenge now is deciding what to make, all right? And the good thing is I have 2 teenage boys. They've tried a majority of these recipes and loved every one. So teenagers like it, I love it, and they're very easy to prepare, and it's good for all levels of cooking, okay? From beginner to seasoned cooks, all right? So as we go through this, go ahead and preheat your oven to 425 degrees. Go ahead and get your head of cauliflower and break it up into small florets. And sometimes you can purchase it already cut up. You know, if you talk about I don't have time and I don't want to cut, hey, you may have to spend more, but it's not hard. You don't have to make it difficult. So go ahead and chop it up. And then go ahead and get you 2 tablespoons of butter, melt it, and get you a teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of black pepper, and a tablespoon of garlic powder. Now, with these seasonings, you can modify it based on your tastes. I like things a little spicy, so I may add some extra types of pepper. I recall when I made this before, I added some paprika in the past. I've added some red pepper. So you can spice it up a bit and get creative with your spices. This is just a foundation for most of you who've never made this type of thing before. So, just don't get scared. And I think I may have had to add a little bit more salt or something like that. So just season it to taste. So you don't have, this recipe book isn't in stone or anything like that. You have the right to modify it any way you want. Okay, so go ahead and follow me here. I'm doing a different format. I don't want it just to be a recipe video. I kind of want to educate you in the process. I can't help myself. But go ahead and grab a large bowl, and then you toss together the cauliflower florets with 1 tablespoon of the melted butter. So don't put all the butter in there yet. So use about half the butter, and then go ahead and season it with your salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And then what you're going to do is take a baking sheet and line it with some parchment paper. And then you're going to arrange those flowerets on that sheet, and then go ahead and put it in the oven for about 25 minutes. So by the time you start cutting and adding the seasonings, your oven should be ready to place that cauliflower inside. And just go ahead and leave it in there until it's crisp. And while you're waiting on that, go ahead and grab the other ingredients so you can make the cheese sauce. So what that is, it's 1 cup of organic cheddar cheese, 1/4 cup of heavy cream, and 1/2 teaspoon of dry mustard powder. Now again, if you like it really cheesy, I think I added about 2 cups of cheddar cheese at one time. So when I first did it, it really depends on what you want. So feel free to add more cheese. I add different varieties of cheese. You could add like a Mexican blend, or you can do mozzarella cheese, maybe even some feta cheese, so don't be afraid to mix things up, do a combination of cheeses. That's what's the fun part of cooking at home. You can make it the way you like it. So I have fun with this. So every time I do this recipe, I do it differently. So feel free to add any extra cream or cheese if you like really cheesy mac and cheese, okay? So what you're gonna do is go ahead and take those ingredients and put them in a saucepan and gently heat. You got to stir frequently until it's nice and blended. And then go ahead and add that dry mustard powder and then do a final stir. So you're going to do this until everything is smooth, and be careful not to burn. So make sure you stir it frequently, and it doesn't take long. Maybe it was about 5 minutes or less to get that mixture nice and smooth. And then finally, this is real simple. And then what I did was just grab another pan that you like to cook your regular mac and cheese. It really doesn't matter. This is what I had. So what I did was transfer the roasted cauliflower, put it in there and mixed it with the cheese mixture. and just mixed it up really good. And then I put it back in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. And I also took some extra cheese and kind of sprinkled it on top. I don't know why, but sometimes I do that just for extra effect, just to get that browning on the top of the cheese. So again, it's your preference, but my kids really love cheese, so I tend to add a little bit of extra cheese. So go ahead and just put that pan in the oven and bake for about 15-20 minutes. Keep an eye on it until that cheese is lightly browned. Now in the photo, it looks kind of whitish because I think at this time when I did this recipe, it was more of a mozzarella cheese. And again, I use organic ingredients. So of course, when things are organic, it doesn't have that bright yellow color. And I think a lot of you are used to that bright yellow color. Like I said, I haven't eaten processed cheese or bought it in such a long time. So I'm assuming a lot of times that cheese is very yellow because of food coloring. That's my only guess. I'll look into that. Don't quote me on that. But sometimes it's not, when you're using natural ingredients, you're not going to get those bright colors that you're used to, because a lot of these foods that are out there are highly modified and colored to look a certain way. But just keep in mind, I just joked around with my kids and just keeping it real. I was like, hey, what do you think? They liked it, but they just said it just tasted like cauliflower with cheese. But they were happy. It was just something that we wanted that day. And then we just had it with some baked fish, and it was real simple. So wanted to share that with you, and go ahead and try it out. Let me know what you think. Once again, the book is available at shopandsavorbook.com. You can also get it on Amazon as well. But if you order it from the website, I will autograph it for you and send it to you personally. So that's that. So let me know what you think, if you tried it or not, what you thought. I'd like to hear back from you. And I'll come back eventually with another recipe. I do have another one on my channel somewhere. So just make sure you subscribe and stay in touch. So go ahead and try that out and enjoy. Let me know what you think. And until next time, go out there and achieve more freedom in your health and your life. Take care.